If you want to get inspired by someone, get inspired by this Indian men hockey team. Agreed, Sundeep?
Yeah, completely. After what happened yesterday against Germany, I mean, as fans, as people who follow hockey, like everybody in this country, you yourself are trying to get up. It's a 3-second thing that destroys morale. And I will always look back at history, look back at the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years of Indian hockey when things have happened the way things happened against Germany. But today was so different. Today was such a refreshing change to see this team come back, stand erect, play firm hockey, play strong hockey, play courageous hockey, and then take the whole offense to the team, which is not a weaker team. I mean, Argentina is probably one of the best. In the last World Cup, they were in the semis. So, you're playing against a very top-ranked team. And to win 2-1, yeah, we were all counting seconds, in the end. But that was supposed to happen after what happened yesterday.
I'll talk about the history later, but you spoke about counting seconds. Were you also counting seconds and
Yeah,
very
yeah.
nervous?
I was nervous to a point where, what they did yesterday, if you see, they didn't do it today. They went on the offensive in the last 1 minute, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. That is exactly what they should have done yesterday.
That was the difference.
That was the big difference, and I think they've learned it. And to learn it so fast, you don't normally see learnings coming so fast for Indian hockey. But with Altmans there, I think there is a refreshing change in the way they think. There is a huge change in the way they play, and they are not afraid. The key word here is they are not afraid to play hockey their way.
I noticed in the last match that after the match was lost, how Altmans came to among the group, and then he showed them, chin up, and that was the symbol. And today their body language was very confident. I mean, I'm sure, he must have spoken to them at length what should be done differently today.
I think they would have gone through the video sessions, but I think the video sessions would have been on the goals that they missed. So when Kothajit gets that field goal, it lifts the team, because till now the goals have been penalty corner goals. There was no field goal, and people were like getting a little bit jittery. 10 years, 15 years back, we were complaining no penalty corner goals. Now we are complaining there's no field goals. But Kothajit showed composure. When you're in the circle, you got defenders all over. For him to find a gap, and that also to the left of the goalkeeper, and see it so clearly, showed one thing, that this team was seeing the match in the vision that they should have, or they were doing it. You had Indian players there. And like you said, Altmans, I think Altmans would have told them that, you are a good team. There is no doubt about the fact that they play possession hockey at a very high level, which is the first sign of a good team, to keep the ball and pace the whole thing out. I think that's where they have really done well.
They've done that the last quarter. We saw that they maintained that the ball possession was with them, because that was the mistake that they conceded in the last match.
Yeah. Against Germany, all the mistakes that they did were not here. Of course, you can always say that the fourth quarter, they were on the offensive. But any team there would be on the offensive, because you want the goals. So the penalty corners were coming. There were errors in the defense. But those errors are going to happen. You can't take them away. That's modern hockey.
First 3 quarters clearly belonged to India. It was the fourth quarter where the Argentinians pressed really hard and they were looking for a lead.
I think when you have a coach like Carlos for Argentina, you will press. You will press hard, because Carlos doesn't believe in playing defensive hockey. But there will be a lot of people who will say that Argentina didn't press in the first 3 quarters. My answer to that is, we didn't let them press, because we were holding the midfield, we were holding the defense. And if you see all the matches, even the match against Germany, the errors were minimum. When you start making errors in the midfield, those are missed passes. Like in tennis we say that it's an unforced error. The unforced errors were not happening from India. That's why the game was compact, the game was tight, and Argentina lost the game.
And the moment I saw the last quarter, the way they were playing, I was just praying that they don't repeat what happened yesterday against Germans. Were you also praying? And I'm sure all the audience were also praying.
I think, what happens in such crucial matches is that it's, apart from the praying, it's that you don't do what you did yesterday. And I think everybody saw that. I think it was a clean game, and this is a crucial game. We had to win this. We need a quarterfinal berth. We had to put it across Argentina, which gives us a huge amount of strength for Canada. It gives us a huge amount of strength for Holland, which is a big, big team. So I think the Indians are going to raise their level, and I hope that we win the next 2, including Holland. I really hope we beat Holland, because if you beat Holland, then you're in the top 2. and then anything can happen in the quarterfinal, and you're looking at a top 4 spot.
What do you think are the chances against Holland? Because
Holland is a top side. Holland plays on speed. Holland plays on pace. They don't play hockey, or they're not going to wait for us to make errors. They're going to create errors in our play. That is how Holland plays. Holland has always played, and remember, Holland didn't play the Champions Trophy. They didn't play Champions Trophy for a reason. They were sitting at home training for the Olympics. They work like that. They play 4-year cycles with a coach, and then they go and win. Holland is a top team. There is no doubt about that. If we get across Holland, we have arrived as a hockey team. If we lose to Holland, we're losing to a very high-ranked team, you know. So in that sense, I don't think the Indians are going to go in thinking, oh, this is a big team and what will we do if we lose. If you lose, you lose. But if you win big.
how much of presence of Dutch coach help in the next match?
I think it will help in the tactical way. It will help in strategy. Though, of course, Altmans belongs to an era. I mean, I know he's going to get very angry when he hears something like an era, but he belongs to the 96-98 era where he won the Olympic gold and he won the World Cup for Holland. I think he would know how Holland operates, and his tactical sense, which he displayed today and against Germany, will come to the fore against Holland.
And who were the heroes for you today?
I think it was Kothajit and Chinglesana. I think I've never seen these two play so well. I mean, they were playing as if it was ice hockey. They were sliding all over the place. They were finding openings. They were going in. They were suddenly in the Argentina striking circle, and Kothajit's goal was a gem. It was a real gem of a goal.
Thank you so much.